What's up, Grow Fam? It's me, Mr. Ricky, back with another freaking episode here. I'm gonna teach you guys. I'm gonna show you how I get my water set up for the flowering stage or during flowering stage. And I guess it all depends on where you're at in the flowering stage, but because I'm all organic, I get a little bit of leeway. I usually just give them a lot of the same stuff almost the whole time. So I do have two 5-gallon buckets, have them filled up 3.5 gallons each. So you're probably looking at approximately 7 gallons. And I have these aerators, some air stones that I put into the water after I'm done feeding the nutrients or the water to the plants. I go ahead and clean out the buckets thoroughly and then refill them to 3.5 gallons or whatever I'm feeding at the time. And I go ahead and put the buckets back over here in the storage room right next to the grow room, and I go ahead and put some air stones into it and just let it oxygenate the water, and it gets rid of the chlorine and all that other stuff. So when I do add stuff in here, such as one of my nutrients is the mycorrhizae. It's a liquid mycorrhizae. It's beneficial for the organisms that are inside the soil. It's their food. It's their friends, their buddies. So anyhow, let's get to it. So I usually go ahead and start off with potash. In flower stage, this stuff is very beneficial. As you can see in this last number here, this is your NPK ratios. All the boxes up here, they all have the ratios on them and stuff. And this is going to help with the larger fruits and stuff and larger vegetables, larger buds and stuff. So I go ahead and add in a little bit of this stuff into there. I just grab a 1/4 teaspoon. It says that a 1/16 of a teaspoon for 5 gallons. 1/16 of a teaspoon. Again, I use a 1/4 teaspoon. I knock a couple of the rocks out of it. What you see? It's like salt. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, but it's a 1/16 of a tablespoon, whatever. I got roughly 4 gallons to half, I don't know, whatever. I use a 1/4 teaspoon, knock a couple grains out of it. As far as I'm concerned, I've been doing this for a couple grows and have had absolutely no problems. It's actually saved me problems. It saved me from having plants go into a deficiency. So it's done me good. I'm going to continue to do it. Right? All right. So now that we're done with the potash, flower fuel. Obviously, flower stage, flower fuel. Big numbers, all at the end, towards the end of flowering stage, going through flowering stage. This is going to help with bud sites and everything, help build bud sites, more buds, bigger roots, bigger fruits. I do one of these little things here, and that scooper actually came with the bag, bought off of Amazon. Give each one of those a scoop of that. The organisms inside the soil, they like eating this blackstrap molasses. Now, just like a kid, you give them sugar and they move faster, right? They're bouncing off the damn walls. This is going to do the same thing to the organisms that are inside the flower pots. They're just basically on hyper mode. It gets them moving around and being more active, which is going to make them eat more, poop out more, and that poop is what they produce is what the plant is absorbing and using as nutrients. So if I give them a little, get them all like, what, I'm thinking of, what's the right word? Like chocolate, get that chocolate wasted, with this stuff. And this is just molasses, man. So it moves very, very slow. You don't need a whole lot, but I'll try to show you as best as I can, if I can. Just a small little line, just a small little stream, and you want to start mixing that in as soon as it starts going into the water. You don't want it to sit on the bottom of the bucket. You kind of want to keep it stay moving in the water so it dissolves. Again, it's like sugar. Up real good. Make sure she ain't sticking on the bottom or nothing. Make sure she's dissolving. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for my other bucket. Some molasses in there, man. Good about there. Roughly tablespoon. I'd say I put in about a tablespoon. They say, like a teaspoon or something like that. Fuck that. Put in a tablespoon. Put in 2 tablespoons. It's not gonna fucking hurt nothing. It's all organic. It's molasses. I'm not putting weird chemicals in here and shit. Add syrup to your pop and you drink frickin' 24 pack of it, right? I know I do. Get me some Mountain Lightning. Not even Mountain Dew, man. But I'll chug the shit out of that Sam's Cola shit. Alright. Now that we've done our black molasses, we've done the potash. Every once in a while, I will hit it with some recharge. Now this is like a instant compost tea. Basically, if I add this stuff into it tomorrow morning, their leaves are just sticking up. They're praying to the weed gods. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'll stand by this stuff any day. This, if your plants are going through some deficiencies or you can't figure out what's going on, a couple doses of this into the bucket, feed them. It'll help. It helps get them back to where they need to be. So this is some good stuff. As I've shown you yesterday, I don't see no deficiencies. I haven't had any, so why do it? Don't fix something that isn't broken, right? So I'm not gonna overdo it. I wanna stick to the normal regimen unless I see something. As long as I stay on top of the Gaia Green that I feed them every 3 weeks, and I give them 1 cup of worm castings. I give them 1 solo cup, so it's more like a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of worm castings per plant, per pot. And I've been sticking to that regimen for the last the last couple grows. I've had no deficiencies. It's working phenomenal. So. And if you start noticing something once in a while, throw some of this in there if you need to. But I've had this bag for quite a few grows and quite a bit left in there. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Good to have if you need it, though. Don't need that. Go to our next liquid mycorrhizae. This is premium liquid mycorrhizae. This is Orca. Killer roots, killer plants. This is with beneficial bacteria. Alright, so now what this stuff does is, well, it's your beneficial bacteria. This is what's gonna, help your colony inside of your soil. This is what's gonna add friends to it, you know what I mean? This is their some of their buddies in a tube. That's basically what it is. Tube babies. Yeah, there you go. They're tube babies. Just babies made in a vial. Lab-grown babies. Get some of that in there. Clean it off. Alright. Now we got that done. And that. Put that extra away. Now, all we got left, pH down. Depending on where you're from, what kind of water you got going in your water system, you know, your water treatment plants, they're all a little bit different, right? So pH tester, I need a pH test my water. If it's too high or too low, I need to either add or subtract from it. So get yourself a multimeter, turn it on, stick it in there, see what it comes up to. My water usually comes out to a pH of about 8.0, 8.1. So I pH down, and I've pretty much pH down the whole time. I've never had to pH up unless I went too far down. So I usually test the water. As long as everything is good, I get it, the numbers come down to 6.3. I stick to that number every time. I don't go higher or lower, just stick to 6.3. Boom, never have any issues. I've gone to 6.5. A lot of people are, oh, you can go 6.3 to 6.5. You can, but I've noticed I run into a little bit more issues when I'm at the 6.5. So I keep it at 6.3, nothing else. Never have any problems. Keep it that way. So I'm not saying that you can't run into problems. I haven't ran into problems, so I'll just keep it at that. And yeah, then your water's ready. So see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. All of you followers that have been following and hitting the subscribe button, I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much for being a part of this show and for making this happen and for joining in on my little hobby of growing fucking weed, man. Yeah. I'll see you guys later, dude. We'll check in with those plants later on, all right? Take it easy.